Thank you, Tom. Before I get started, I want to just take a second and recognize Tom. When the lovely lady from Front Royal was speaking about what it means to represent Rotary or to represent any of the organizations that we are a part of, Tom immediately came to mind, because if all of you guys are like Tom, this is a special group of folks. There's not a week that goes by that Tom doesn't touch something at the farm and make it better. And he's often been mistaken for an employee because he spends so much time there. But he's been a big part of our organization from the get-go, and we're really thankful to have him. So let's just give Tom a hand. My wife and I have spent the majority of our lives in this region. Matter of fact, as I look at these banners on the wall, we've lived and worked and been a part of communities in over half of them. So it's great to be in this room. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for the time to share with you. It's nice to know that I'm among my people, so thanks a bunch. My first exposure to the Rotary Club was actually as a small child playing disc golf at Peachview Park in Lynchburg. We got any Lynchburg people here? All right, a couple. Great. Being the nerdy little homeschooler that I was, I actually took the time to read the placards of the people that had sponsored the holes, and one of them was Rotary Club. So I learned early on that Rotary Club was about service. My next exposure would not be until years later when I met Tom. And Tom and his groups and other Rotary clubs from our area, the Lynchburg, Alta Vista, Amherst, Forest area, would come and help at NCHV. And I came to know exactly just how dedicated you people are to serving your communities, and I honor you for it. Thank you for what you do. So the bio that Tom read highlighted that I spent the last 17 years essentially as a working cowboy. And then in 2021, God put it on my heart to do more with my life, to do more with my abilities, to do more with what He'd blessed me with in the sense of serving my fellow man versus just serving myself, serving my desires, serving the people that I worked for. And through that pursuit of trying to figure out where He was directing me, I came to the National Center for Healthy Veterans. The National Center for Healthy Veterans is a trauma recovery program. It's a versatile, holistic program that centers around a 9-month residential trauma recovery program that helps our veterans heal physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and relationally. To give you a little bit of background, I'd like to play this short video. This is our essentially Patriot number 1. We call our veterans that go through our program Patriots, and this video really highlights how our program works. It highlights what we're about. It highlights our values. It highlights why we do what we do. And you'll also get to see a little bit of the early stages of what our property looked like when we first started in 2020 and into 2021.
The battle plan has already been laid out by Valor. What that's going to do is not only give veterans a physical location to come and get healing, but the spiritual healing, and to actually get to see the modeling of individuals like myself that's been there, done that. This is a place where you can physically come, take a knee, you and your family, get the help that you need. Coming out to a ranch, something like this, you see nature, you can see God, animals, horses, just the power of all that, just to really reconnect to humanity, reconnect to God's creation. This is going to be, in my opinion, the most effective, because I know after 15 years of doing different therapeutics and things like this has put all those same pieces together in one thing. Again, it is a real full circle, one stop. Let's really hook you up and give you the care that you need. And it's also going to be the follow through. It's not just coming here for one snapshot of time. It's the relationships that are being built. It's the brotherhood, the sisterhood, the service between veterans and the civilian world who comes in and volunteer. we're establishing veterans to become self-sustaining, which is a lot different than just funding a program to put a little Band-Aid on somebody. This is for them to gain self, gain an identity in Christ, and then move on again, and then turn around and then do the same thing. The 2 up, 1 down philosophy, help out and then turn around and bring somebody with you.
So our motto is returning healthy veterans to America. Why do we say that? If you look at this slide, you see soldiers in uniform. These soldiers have been taught values of dignity, of leadership, of respect, of honor. And when they turn around and they take that uniform off at the close of their service, those values and those ethics don't go away. They still continue. We believe that our veterans are an untapped national treasure. And it's our goal to help those of them who have been damaged by the effects of trauma, to help them to heal, to help them to recover, and to help them regain the dignity and the respect and the honor and the skills of leadership that they had during their service. Many of you will recognize this marble wall. It's the Vietnam War Memorial in Washington, D.C. Our founder, Major General Bob Deese, often tells a story of walking this wall with a Vietnam widow. And as she ran her hand along the wall, she searched for her husband's name, and when she got to where his name should have been, she stopped and she said, "It's not here." This confused the general, but she went on to explain that her husband had not died in combat. Her husband had died many years later from the effects of the exposure to the hazards of war, as well as the effects of PTS on his life. My earliest exposure to the veteran suicide epidemic was around the same time as my original exposure to the Rotary Club. I was a small child, and I watched as my family was shocked and devastated by the loss to suicide of a Vietnam War veteran who was an uncle through a blended family. If you're not familiar with the statistic, in the United States today, we lose 22 veterans every day to suicide. It's unacceptable. In the last decade alone, we've lost more veterans to suicide than we lost in the entirety of the Vietnam War. Something has to change. That's where our mission comes in. One of the greatest enemies of a recovering veteran is isolation. Their trauma leads them to feel depressed. It leads them to feel misunderstood. It leads them to feel unwanted or dangerous, and they begin to isolate, which leads to more depression, which starts the spiral that goes down towards suicide. So one of our mantras is to live in community, to defeat isolation. We provide them with dignified work on our 340-acre platform, where, as Tom said, we have several hundred laying hens. We have cattle, we have horses, we have pigs. They learn to work. They work with us. They work with our coaches. They work with our team leaders. And we develop relationships that help them regain the ability to exist in community. They learn trauma recovery and life skills through our programming. And then towards the end of our residential 9-month program, they learn career preparation skills, and they develop resumes, and they work through internships and develop plans to relaunch into the civilian world and to be successful. And we continue to follow up with them after their graduation from our program to ensure that their success is ongoing. We believe that government will never solve the problem of the veteran suicide epidemic or veteran recovery. The private sector holds the answer to this, whether it's churches, clubs, communities. Alexis de Tocqueville said that democracy in America is one of the essential pieces of democracy in America is for civic clubs to be healthy, to be thriving. Clubs like the Rotary. You guys are essential to not only democracy in America, but to the healing of our nation's veterans. We believe in restoring the body, mind, and spirit of our patriots. Liberty University in Lynchburg calls us a living laboratory for veteran mental and behavioral health. If you guys will note the fellow on the top left corner of this slide, I'm going to highlight him in just a moment. This is our intellectual property. We combine our veteran programs and our veteran care with our veteran life. Our programming and our care take care of the physical and mental and emotional parts of the veteran health. Our veteran life helps with the relational and the spiritual parts. Outcomes. Why do we do what we do? That top one, suicides prevented and mental health challenges overcome. I want to highlight the fellow that we looked at on the 2 slides ago. He was one of our early patriots, and he recently had a VA checkup. And his doctor at the VA asked him why he hadn't been to counseling in over a year. His response was that he didn't need it anymore, that he had found faith, that he had found community, and that he was happy. Another one of our patriots who was part of his cohort, this one's a little tough for me because he's quite close and it's a little emotional to relay his story. He was part of our program and chose to leave. Some of our patriots will choose to not complete the program. They will choose to follow other roads, and that's okay. We believe that every person we touch, we have an effect on. About 1.5 years after leaving our program, he had what we call a body slam, where his life reached a crossroads and depression took over. His trauma returned, and he ended up attempting to take his own life. But God did not allow that. The tree branch actually broke and fell on his head. When he regained consciousness, he reached out to us. We brought him back into the program, and now he's actually a thriving member of our team. He's a graduate, and he is taking a leadership role not only in our operations, but also in our programming. He's actually teaching classes and helping his fellow veterans work through their trauma. That's what we're about. This is another video. This is our year-end review. This starts with a view of our equine facility, and it runs through everything that we accomplished in the last year, none of which would be possible without volunteer effort from clubs like the Rotary. You'll find some familiar faces in this video.
There is no words that anyone can ever describe how humbled we are to live in the greatest nation in the world. And it's because of you.
nowhere to go, no home, no job, no direction in my life. God opened the door for me to go through this program.
I've had a lot of demons in my life, but they've showed me God. They showed me what I'm capable of and helped me find my identity.
When we dropped Derek off at the farm, I was saying, yeah, we're gonna go and we're gonna drop Derek off so he can heal. He can go through this program. He can have time to really deal with the trauma and deal with hurt. And little did I know how much this process was for me as well.
Our mantra is returning healthy veterans to America. We want them to go be part of America because America needs our veterans now more than ever before.
If you'll notice, the last image on that video was a memorial garden to one of Tom's compatriots, a fellow named Lynn Rogers, who was one of our original volunteers and brought Tom to our team. And the day after that picture was taken, the day after this video was made, we suffered a pretty devastating loss. You saw in the original video that there was a lot of open fields, there was a lot of green, there was a beautiful horse barn, a beautiful riding facility, and we've built on that property. We now have 33 tiny homes, a community center, and we are starting construction on our second community center, as well as plans for our family lodge, which is a 30-room hotel and convention center with a counseling wing attached, which will allow us to do more public events, more temporary aid events, as well as housing, theoretically, our women's facility. One thing we don't have on this slide is that the day after this video was made and finished, the equine facility caught fire and burnt completely to the ground. This was a devastating loss for us. Tom mentioned that our equine programs are essential for our Patriots' recovery, and we believe that that's true. One of the things that we've learned as we've dug into the concept of equine-assisted services, which includes coaching, therapy, and education, is that the horses are a tool in our toolbox that can do things we can't. Horses have an innate ability to sense the emotions and the thoughts of people and to react to them, and they will participate in our therapy sessions and actually take on weight that we cannot carry as humans, and they will ask questions that we cannot carry. They will reveal things to the client, to the Patriot, that we would not be able to reveal or to dig into ourselves. I've experienced this personally, as have all of our team. In addition to this, we have a training program. We also have a horsemanship program for our veterans, and it's one of the self-sustainability models that we have on the farm to promote our growth and our sustainability in the future. Unfortunately, that building, as well as our offices, our maintenance shop, and our grow facility for our starting our crops for our gardens and things, did burn completely to the ground, and the only thing left standing was that memorial garden with the soldier's cross and the memorials to Lynn. And we took that as a sign that regardless of the adversity that comes our way, we will remain steadfast to our mission. We will not be shaken by the struggles that we encounter, but we will overcome. Oops, already got there. There we go. Some of you may ask the question, how can we help? Well, there's 3 buckets that for financial needs. Obviously, as a 501c3 nonprofit, we are donation-based as well as applying for grants. So veteran care, the expansion of our second village, which includes 12 homes and a community center, and then the fire relief to rebuild the equine facility as well as our offices are 3 ways that you can help financially. But that's just the one way to help. Obviously, many of you are from the area, and we would welcome any volunteer efforts you can provide. We thank you so much for all that you've already done. Many of you have spent countless hours with us. Many of you have spent thousands of dollars to help us, and we applaud you, we honor you, we thank you for that. Another way that you can help is through referrals. This is the biggest one. We operate by referral. Concerned friends, concerned parents, concerned siblings reaching out to us asking, can you help my brother, my sister, my father, my son, my friend? If you know of a veteran who is struggling with trauma, who is struggling to keep their life together, to operate in a healthy way that would benefit from the services that we offer, please refer them to healthyveterans.org. Have them fill out an application. Reach out to our team. We are here to help, but we can't help if we don't know who needs help. They have to come to us, and we will do everything that we can to help them return healthy to America. Thank you for your time.